Narrators!
Hello everyone. We saw last week how the people wandered for 40 years. And now Moses, who is 120 years old, is now handing the leadership to Joshua as the people are about to enter the Promised Land. Our story comes from the books Deuteronomy and Joshua. Let's see what happens. Moses addressed the people. I am now 120 years old and unable to lead you. God has told me I will not cross the river Jordan and enter the Promised Land. But the Lord will lead you to overcome the nations living in the Promised Land. Be strong, be courageous, do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you. He will not fail or let you down. Moses then summoned Joshua and in front of everyone said, Be strong, be courageous, for you will lead these people into the Promised Land. See to it that they conquer it. Don't be afraid, for the Lord will be with you and go before you. He will never fail you or forsake you. Moses then wrote out the laws he had given the people and gave them to the priest to look after. He told them to read to everyone every 7 years when they gathered at the festival of tabernacles. Moses called everyone together to hear God's laws read aloud. He urged them to do what God wanted and to obey him with reverence. God then summoned Moses and Joshua to meet him in the tabernacle. He appeared to them both in a great cloud at the tabernacle entrance. God told Moses that he would die. He also revealed that once the people of Israel had conquered the Promised Land, they would disobey him and worship foreign gods. So God then asked Moses to write down the words of a song which would remind them of the foolishness of disobedience and its consequences. Moses wrote down the lyrics of the song and then recited it to the people to learn. The words of this song are recorded in Deuteronomy chapter 32. Not only did it warn them of the difficulties they would face if they acted stupidly and disobeyed God, but it reminded them of God's love and forgiveness if they returned to him. The song exalted the power of God and how he would bring them victory. That same day, the Lord told Moses, Go to Mount Nebo in the land of Moab, across from Jericho. Look out across the Promised Land of Canaan. After you see the land, you must die. That is because you rebelled against my instructions to order water to come out of a rock at the springs of Meribah, Kadesh. You will see the land I'm giving to the people of Israel, but you will not enter it. Moses climbed the plain of Moab to Pisgah Peak in Mount Nebo, across from Jericho. God pointed out to Moses places in the Promised Land, including the Jordan Valley and Jericho. The Lord explained, This is the land I promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that I would give to their descendants. Now you have seen it, but you will not enter it. So Moses died in the land of Moab, as the Lord had said. The Lord buried him in the valley near Beth Peor in Moab, but no one knows the exact place. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyesight was perfect, and he was as strong as a young man. The people of Israel mourned for Moses for 30 days on the plains of Moab. There has never been another prophet like Moses, for the Lord talked to him face to face. Joshua was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. He was now their leader, and the people of Israel obeyed him and the Lord. God told Joshua, "You are the new leader of Israel. Lead my people across the Jordan River into the promised land. It extends from the Negeb desert in the south to the Lebanon mountains in the north, and from the Mediterranean Sea to the west of the Euphrates River in the east, including all the land of the Hittites. I will be with you just as I was with Moses. I will not abandon you or fail to help you. Be strong and courageous. Obey every law Moses gave you, and you will be successful in everything you do. Remind the people about these laws and think about them every day and night. Be bold and strong. Banish fear and doubt, for remember, the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." After Moses died, Joshua and the people camped at Abel Shittim in the east bank of the river Jordan. God told Joshua, "Get ready to cross the Jordan River. Every place you set foot on, I will give you, and nobody will be able to stand in your way. I will never leave you or let you down. Be strong and show courage. Obey God's law and think deeply about it, and then you will be successful." Joshua ordered those in charge of the people, "Go through the camp and tell everyone to pack up and get ready to move. In 3 days' time, we will cross the river Jordan and take over the land God had promised to us." The people answered, "What you have commanded we will do. Just as we obeyed Moses, we will obey you. May God be with you as he was with Moses." Ahead of them, just 12 miles away, and that's about 20 kilometers, on the side of the river Jordan, was the walled city of Jericho. Joshua secretly sent 2 spies to check out the land and the city of Jericho. They entered Jericho and made for the house of Rahab, who often took strangers and visitors into her home. However, the spies had been spotted. The king of Jericho was warned, "There are Israelite spies in the city." The king gave orders for the soldiers to go to Rahab's house and arrest them. Rahab, however, sensing her visitors were in danger, took them up to the roof and hid them. When the soldiers arrived, she did not betray them. "There were 2 men here, but I did not know who they were," she explained. "At dusk, before the city gate was closed, they left, and I don't know where they are heading." The soldiers rushed off out of the city and down the road towards the river Jordan, searching for the 2 spies. Rahab went onto the roof and spoke to the spies. "I know the Lord has given you this land, and everyone here is very afraid. We have heard how God opened up the Red Sea to let you escape out of Egypt, and our hearts are melting with fear. Please promise me that you will show kindness to my family and spare their lives," Rahab begged. "You have saved our lives. We will save yours and your family," the 2 spies promised her. Rahab's house had a window in the city wall. That night she let them down a rope to make their escape. "Go and hide in the hills for 3 days, and when they have given up searching for you, you will be able to cross the river Jordan." The men had agreed that Rahab would tie a scarlet cord in her window to signal her house. They told her to make sure her family stayed inside the house when the Israelites attacked. Then they would keep their promise to spare their lives. Rahab tied the scarlet in the window as agreed. The two men hid in the hills around Jericho until it was clear for them to cross the river Jordan and return to the Israelites' camp. They reported to Joshua, "The Lord really has given us the whole of this land. The people there are melting in fear because of us." Joshua was ready to move into the promised land. But how were so many people all going to be able to cross the river Jordan, which was in flood? For the answer to that question, we will look next week at the crossing of the river Jordan and the walls of Jericho, where we will see the promise of the spies to Rahab come true.